Okay, for lesson 7, this is your building vocabulary apply lesson. So you do have a test for this particular unit. So for this lesson, you're going to practice identifying types of verbs and their function. You'll read a short paragraph, answer some questions, and complete a chart in the lesson. And then it's a good idea for you to practice writing responses to the open response level 1 and level 2 prompts that are in this lesson using the RACES strategy when possible. Okay, and then just have your learning coach look at those. Let's watch a video on vocabulary. Why is vocabulary even important? Why do we need to focus on this for this whole unit anyway?
Vocabulary is something everybody says is very important. I'm sure you've heard this before. Good vocabulary is very important. You need to learn new vocabulary. But if people understand what you say using the words you already know, why should you learn new words? Well, your vocabulary has more of an impact than you realize on how you communicate and on reading comprehension. So, how does your vocabulary help or get in the way of communication and reading? How many words do most people know anyhow? 5,000? 50,000? No, that sounds like a lot. Well, stick around and you'll find out the answers. Hi, I'm Mark Franco. Welcome to Snap Language. So, how important is it really to have good vocabulary? I can give you three main reasons: to communicate effectively, to navigate the social environment, and, of course, to read effectively. Of course, you need words to communicate. You may think you know enough words, though, because you can communicate effectively in everyday life. But what happens when other people use vocabulary you might not know? This can happen, for example, when you first go to college or in a new professional setting. You'll need vocabulary you don't normally use at home or in everyday life. Unless you learn the appropriate words for that particular setting, you may not be able to communicate or read as well as you should. If you have poor vocabulary or use words incorrectly, you'll understand less and come across as not very knowledgeable or even a bit out of place. And of course, you also want to be accurate. You can sort of say what you mean, or you can say it more accurately and avoid confusion. Who wouldn't want to do that? The language gives you word choice. For example, you could say, Maria and John argued often, but does that truly describe the situation? Word choice gives you, for example, Maria and John bickered often or Maria and John brawled often. If you have good vocabulary and happen to know not only argue but also bicker and brawl, you know that choosing between these words actually gives you different information. To bicker does mean to argue, but to argue about things that are unimportant, and to brawl communicates a sense of an angry, loud argument. So, the more words you know, the more accurately you can communicate. And of course, you can understand better what other people are saying when they use rich vocabulary. Is that it? You also need good vocabulary to navigate social environments effectively. People use different vocabulary, even grammar, in different social environments. The way you speak to a child is different from the way you speak to an adult. The way you speak to a sibling or send a text message to a close friend is less formal than the way you speak to a stranger or write a college essay. In linguistics, the study of how language works, we call this register. A register is a variety of the same language that we use for a specific purpose or in a specific social setting. We switch registers, meaning we adjust the variety of language we use to be appropriate to the situation. But we need good knowledge of the language to be able to do that. And vocabulary is an important tool to be able to switch registers. Using the wrong register makes you sound, well, kind of weird sometimes. And that's not all. In part two of this video, we'll focus on how vocabulary affects reading comprehension and how you can improve your vocabulary. Hey, we also need to answer this: how many words do most people know? So far in this video, we saw a few things you may not have thought about when it comes to vocabulary. A rich vocabulary helps you communicate effectively, understand others better, and express yourself accurately through word choice. You can also navigate different social environments and switch registers to be appropriate to the situation, time, and place. Before you go to part two of this video, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the Snap Language YouTube channel. And in the comments, let us know this. What do you do when you find a new word that you don't understand right in the middle of reading? And until the next video, thanks for stopping by and watching this video.
So you can see why it's important to learn different kinds of vocabulary. So we focused a whole unit on that. But make sure that you click on the link right down there, like I tell you every day, in the bottom right hand corner of your live lesson, or it's not, sorry, in the bottom right hand corner of your online curriculum lesson to finish your lesson for today.